Tutorial. What I'm going to show to you today is how to set up a home-based server and then run your website, and then a second part of this video will also show you how to buy a domain. The first thing you want to do is go and install WAMP server. You can do this by googling WAMP server and clicking the first link that shows up on Google. Here I've clicked the link. Then you can go into this website and click start using WAMP server. You can download for 64 bits and 32 bits depending on your operating system. You can choose either one. I'm going to click the 64 bits. If this dialog box pops up, then you have to click download directly over here and it will take you to a SourceForge link which is hosting the setup files. Now your download will start. Since I've already downloaded WAMP server, I will not be downloading it. I will just cancel the download. Once you're done with your download, you will open the setup file and click run. Setup has opened. You will click OK over here and then accept the user agreement. Click next and next again. Choose a download location. It is good if you choose C WAMP 64 by default. Click next. But since I've already installed it, is giving me an error, so I will click no and then cancel. Right. So once you have installed this, you will see this icon on your desktop. You want to double click this icon and you will see a WAMP icon in your notification tray. If you click this, there are some setups that we need to do in order to get started. First of all, you can go to the www directory, which is basically the index page. I've replaced the files in this directory with my own HTML page. I will show you this in Notepad here. Right, so as you can see, this is the HTML page. It is a very simple HTML page with a body tag and just a paragraph that says how to set up your home-based server, BSEF14A026. What you also want to do with WAMP server is when you click this, you will go to Apache and see the port it is running. By default, this is port 80, but I have changed it to 1342. I've done this because the default port for the broadband router is also 80, so there is some conflict, which is why you have to use port other than 80, and then when you click this, you will get a desired port number. Just enter 1342. This can be any other number. It can also be 8080, but I have chosen 1342 as no other app is conflicting with it. Just click OK. Since I've already set it up, I will click cancel. Now you can test your WAMP server by going to your browser and then entering either localhost and then colon followed by the port number you have set up, which is 1342. So that is just loading. So as you can see, the website has been loaded on localhost 1342. It says how to set up a home-based server as we had written in the HTML code. We can also access this website using not the localhost but the actual IP address. You can find this by hitting Windows R, opening up CMD and then typing ipconfig and more. You can see that your wireless LAN adapter is shown. You can get the IPv4 address, which is the local host address, then the subnet mask and the default gateway. You also want to note down this default gateway as we will need to access the broadband router later on in the video. Now if we see that 192.168.1.5 is our localhost address, so if we replace localhost with 192.168.1.5, the same page will open up as it is alias for the same name. Now you are just wondering on that we have set up our website on the localhost, but how do we get it online? In order to do this, like I have told you, you will need to access your broadband router using the default gateway that we had noted earlier. Now when you enter your default gateway, you will get a prompt for a username and password. You can get this from your ISP. This for PTCL routers is admin and the password is also admin. You will click sign in, and then once you are signed in, you will see this page. In this page, go to advanced setup and then go to NAT and then to virtual servers. Now over here we will click add, and then in the add we will click custom service. In the custom service we can give it any name like server, and then do not click enable LAN loopback, and then in the server IP address add the local IP address, which is 192.168.1.5 for my server. Over here in the external port start, you will type in the port that you have set up in WAMP, which is 1342, and then in the external port end you will also type the same. You will see that in the internal port start it automatically has added 1342, and in the internal port it will also add the same. Now you will change the protocol to TCP UDP and then apply save. What we have actually done here is told the router that when it gets a request for our IP address with the port that is 1342, it has to route to the address 192.168.1.5. Now we have successfully configured our broadband router. Now we also need to configure WAMP server in order to allow hits from external networks. In order to do this, you will have to left click on the WAMP server icon and then go to Apache and then go to httpd.conf. After opening this file, you need to add some directives into this file. There will be some tags of directory that basically determine if external networks are allowed to access the files that you have put in the www directory. If you scroll down, you will see that there is a first directory tag under server name. It will be something different written here instead of the text that I have replaced it with. You can note this text down and then replace the directory tag with the text that I have written here. You will also need to do this in two other places. One which is right below the first directory tag and has this included. You will also replace the directory text here, and then also in one other place which will be a little further down over here. Once you have done this, just click save and close this file. Now what we have done is configured WAMP so that it allows hits from external servers. Now since we are on the local machine right now, we can only test through a local address. It will not allow us to use our public IP in order to access the server. We will need to get onto another internet provision or another internet service in order to access this from an external IP. Now you might be wondering how to find out your external IP. In order to do this, you can simply go to whatismyip.com and then click enter. It will show you what your IP is. Right, so it is showing me my IP address. So if you are on an external network that is not connected to the local machine, you can just type this IP address followed by the port number, and it will send a hit to your router which is on this public address, and your router will return the website that is in the www directory in the WAMP server in the local machine. Now since I cannot do this on this machine because it is connected to my Wi-Fi, I will add a screenshot after this monologue to show you that I have successfully connected to it using my mobile internet. Now your website is on the private public IP address, but you can also assign a domain name to it. One of the more popular domain names providers is GoDaddy.com. In order to buy a domain, you can simply go to GoDaddy.com and search for the domain name that you require. For example, we can put this in here. Just search the domain, and then you can select the extension that you want, which is .com, .in, .info, or anything like that. You add this to your cart and continue to cart. Once this is done, it will give you some configuration options. You can choose these as you like and then continue with these options. Now it will ask you to proceed with checkout, where you will enter your payment information, and then you can finally buy your domain. Once you have bought your domain, you can easily go into the domain options and go into the settings. There you will find some settings for entering the public IP address of your website, and then you can set up the website IP address there. since it is a paid process, I cannot demonstrate it, but it's pretty easy. So this is where I will end the video. We have successfully set up a home server on a public IP address, and it is successfully running. So thank you for watching.